It's time to chat Super Six. How did we all do? Rory won the league, didn't he? Rory won the league out of us three.
Well done, mate.
So well done to
Congratulations.
Rory.
Thank you very much.
Dinner will be on us.
Thank you very much.
So congratulations. I finished second. Buvey, you're in the relegation zone, brother.
Oh, it's embarrassing. But I was having a laugh.
You've got to go on pitch side now.
Oh, great.
We're going to do a little end of season review for Super Six. Rory, is this the worst season supporting Chelsea in recent, like in the last 20 odd years?
No. It's not. It's the worst season following Chelsea potentially ever. Certainly my lifespan. But I think that even when Chelsea teams have been worse than this, so, Chelsea were relegated. We played Borough in a playoff and Middlesbrough ended up relegating Chelsea. I think that even that team, as bad as that season was, I think that people would have an affinity with that team. Terrible Chelsea teams in the past. A Chelsea team that nearly went down in the mid-90s. It was at least likeable. It was at least relatable. It at least tried hard. It had players in the team like Gavin Peacock, John Spencer, Dennis Wise, Mark Steen, who seemed to care about the club. Mm-hmm. The club now are full of mercenaries and we have become a venture capitalist plaything. So yeah, it is the worst season following the club. It is just a hollow experience. And the worst thing about the lot is, firstly, not feeling attached, not feeling part of it, not having any genuine connection with any of the players. Like, I dislike at least half a dozen of these players. Like, I'd love half a dozen of these players to leave. They don't care about us. They genuinely don't care. And the worst thing is, I don't really see it changing. So no, it's undoubtedly been the most trying season. And I just think that the future is incredibly bleak, which I know neither of you do. I know that you see Chelsea kind of turning it around. But the feeling from within is not your glass half full mentality. I obviously hope that you're both correct.
I think we've had that confirmation of the signed agreement with Poch, and I think once he gets in, I rate him higher than I think you do, but I do rate him.
I think a lot of the things that people rate him for, though, they call it success and that. And I think at Tottenham, it is seen as success. Like, for example, getting to a European final at Tottenham is really successful, really celebrated. West Ham get to finals and they celebrate it. At Chelsea, we don't talk about finals that we don't win. Like, Chelsea get to the final of an FA Cup and get beat, like Ray Parlour scoring the goal of his life. You've probably never heard me mention that game. I was in Cardiff that day, we don't talk about it. Chelsea getting to a final in Moscow. I was at that game. I don't talk about it. It doesn't matter. You meet a Tottenham fan, they'll tell you they were in Madrid. Oh, maybe we're going to win the Champions League. Yeah, because that's success for you. The standards are very different at Chelsea. So Mauricio Pochettino coming in, not won a thing in this country.
But we're talking about fan kind of expectation and reality there. Like, Poch still punched way above expectation with Spurs and getting them to that Champions League.
But the expectation at Tottenham, it's expectation at Tottenham.
I think you attach too much. I think you attach Spurs to Poch far too much.
But he's
a world-class coach. He's a world-class coach.
Tottenham.
He's not.
He's not Tottenham. He's a PSG manager, Espanyol manager.
When he comes to Chelsea, he will be Chelsea.
No, but he's meant to be Tottenham, isn't he? Like, his whole thing is loyalty. Like, he wouldn't manage Espanyol because of his loyalty. Sorry, he wouldn't manage Barcelona because of his loyalty to Espanyol.
That's not realistic. I think he's come out. He's a young manager, probably saying that. And it's different in Spain. Espanyol. He hasn't managed Barcelona yet, so he hasn't disproved that loyalty. I think in England, it's slightly different.
But it's who he's like, the way that statement. The point of saying that statement. It's not really about Barcelona or Espanyol. It's about him as a man. It's what he's saying about himself.
Yeah, I think Mourinho would say the same thing about himself. But then he went to Tottenham and he went to Man United. I think the reality of being a manager, there are a limited amount of clubs that you can be a world-class manager at. I think he'll go to Chelsea and he'll have a nucleus of very, very talented young players. And I think just take away the Spurs thing and just look at him as a coach. He's a very, very, very good coach.
But when you look at what you're basing that on, he didn't win a thing at Tottenham. And then went to Paris Saint-Germain. Watch Lille win the league.
Coach Tottenham to a Champions League final.
Right, which is good for them.
Yeah, but coaching Tottenham is an achievement to get into.
He will win a trophy at Chelsea.
But he didn't win a trophy at Tottenham, and he went to PSG and he watched Lille win the league.
He'll win a trophy at Tottenham. Chelsea.
I don't know. You saying it like that makes it very difficult for me to argue with. But I'm arguing on data.
No, I know.
You're arguing. You're arguing on.
I just think it'd
be like me going, well, Ten Hag will win the league next year.
Yeah, I probably won't. I agree with that.
Okay. It's like me going, Vincent Kompany will win the league. No, I know.
Vincent Kompany your perception of Pochettino is completely justified, by the way. All I'd say to you as a football fan, I don't care. I think you're right about Spurs. I think they have bottled it massively. All I'd say is, I think you could just look, you're a massive arch nemesis of Spurs. I get that. What he did at Spurs, some of the levels he got, Danny Rose, Kyle Walker, Eric Dyer, as a coach, you're right, maybe as a winner, maybe you're completely bang on, but as a coach, he'll improve so many of your players.
That's my worry.
Yeah, no,
That's
that's
my worry.
justified.
As a winner,
if you buy
you know
players
better than me.
that are building, if your team build a team that can win things, and he's getting them playing great football, developing these younger players, improving them, it's going to bring you closer to winning things.
I do hope so. The second that he is officially the Chelsea manager, I will obviously dedicate full love for him and have no choice but to totally back him. But I do also, I don't think he's the right man for the job, but desperately hope I'm wrong.
That's fair. Yeah.
On the other end of the scale, or the whatever it's called, Buvey, best season supporting City?
No. As much as I'm probably a bit of a nostalgia merchant.
To be confirmed.
Yeah, to be confirmed. If we win a treble, it's almost levels of success I couldn't even fathom as a young City fan when I was growing up. But the Aguero season will always be my favourite season for obvious reasons, even the FA Cup win. But this season, in terms of the standard on the pitch, we are seeing a club being born out of relative Premier League mid-table obscurity, and now we're becoming a behemoth of a football club. This is serious, lads. Real Madrid rocked up at the Etihad and they got absolutely smashed. They got absolutely dismantled. And the fans, whatever you say about the fans, maybe there's not as many of us as Arsenal and Liverpool and United, but the fans in the Etihad were absolutely incredible, and it killed Real Madrid. We killed Bayern Munich. These are massive football clubs. We put 6 past Man United and 4 past Liverpool, 4 past Arsenal. What we're building at City is incredibly special. And I think this season, it sounds ridiculous, it could get even better. There's a few players that could, not even at their peak. Phil Foden's not at his peak. Haaland, Alvarez has just come in. I think we're building a legacy, and that's why it's so exciting. But yeah, if you ask a City fan, I think the Aguero season still tops it, which is crazy.
Unless you win those two cup
beating
finals.
Inter Milan is real special. And then United in a cup final. And what a world to live in, that we're favourites in an FA Cup final against Man United. It's an amazing thing to say, even if we don't win it.
In terms of my club season, I've been happy with Ten Hag's rebuild and Ten Hag's impact onto the club. Obviously, at the start, it all seemed doom and gloom. We lose them 2 games. It feels like you're back to square one. It feels like Eric Ten Hag's not going to be around in a couple of months' time. This guy that we brought in and lauded as the guy to be the next guy and a long-term manager, had suffered back-to-back defeat against Brighton and Brentford and was getting grilled by Gary and Jamie Carragher. And then he turns it around. We get that win against Liverpool, and we've hardly looked back, really. Yes, there've been those results and performances, like you mentioned, a 7-0 against Liverpool and stuff. But I think those have been anomalies in this season. And I think ultimately we've seen a season of progression. We get to 2 cup finals. We did okay in the Europa League, although we could have done better. But I just think ultimately the amount of games we were playing took its toll on the squad. And I think that's why you've seen us kind of fizzle out a little bit towards the end. But when you get Champions League football, a trophy, and potentially another one as well, I think he's gone above and beyond. And he's done fantastic. So, yeah, I've been incredibly pleased with Ten Hag's rebuild. Super 6 want us to answer, which of your teams or our teams will finish lowest next season?
Chelsea, out of Chelsea, yeah. Chelsea, Manchester United and Man City. I mean, it is Chelsea. I
think it's a lot closer between us two than you think. But I think it will be Chelsea. Who finishes higher out of our 3?
Oh, City, of course.
City win the league.
Manchester United.
I mean, these questions are very...
I'm telling you, it's happening.
It's just hard because of the state of our clubs.
We've been 10
a few years ago,
without
it would have been a very big
title.
debate.
It's happening.
Yeah, for sure.
We're going to win it. Anyway, thank you to everyone who has joined our Super 6 Mini League this season. You've been absolutely incredible. It's Club S6 on the app. What we want you to do today is go and follow Super 6 on their socials, Twitter, Instagram, and all those kind of things, and tell them that the club sent you. Can we say a huge congratulations to Stephen Wilthers? This week, Stephen Wilthers came top of the league with 17 points and won the £100 Classic Football Shirts voucher. Congratulations, Stephen. Super 6 will be in touch to arrange your prize. We'll be back next season, so follow Super 6. And thank you to the wonderful people at Super 6 for supporting the channel. Huge stuff.
Amazing.
Thank you.